In this video, we're gonna start working with the Redux toolkit. We're gonna implement it to our front-end API project. So this is the API front-end project series. You can check it out, and you also have the API backend project series. So what we are gonna do right now is I'm gonna go into the terminal. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. I'm gonna type in ls, and I'm gonna go into my folder. I have a folder name Express, and I'm gonna type ls again, and I have a folder name API. So now I'm gonna press encode space that so I can open it in Visual Studio Code, and let's make it a little bigger one. So we have the package.json here. Let me see. We are okay. So let's check it out. npm run, and it's gonna be front. So let's see if it opens the localhost 3000, and it does. So we have the login and the register, so that's fine up to this point. Let's see. Okay, so what else do we have here? We are gonna go right now into the front end. Okay, so we can close this one, and we can go into the front end, and inside of the front end we're gonna go into the package.json of the front end. And as you can see here, we have the @redux.js/toolkit. This is the package that we are gonna be, or the dependency that we're gonna be working with. So what else do we have? We have some scripts, but yeah, this is the important thing, the redux.js/toolkit. So this is in the package.json of the front end. So this one, not this one, this is of the root. So inside of the front end folder we have the source folder, and inside of the source folder we have our app folder where we have our store.js, and here we have the configure from the @redux.js/toolkit, and we have this store, and here we have our reducers. So that's fine. We have our features, and we have our menu, and as you can see here, this is the menu, the navigation, the login, and the register that we have up to this point. So right now we're gonna go into features, into the features folder, and what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna create a new folder inside of that, and I'm gonna name it users. I'm gonna name it users just like that, users. I'm gonna save it, and inside of this folder named users, I'm gonna create the global part of our authentication, and it's gonna be named users. It's gonna be named users slice, like this, users slice.js. So like that. Okay, it's gonna be users slice, that is gonna be inside of the users folder, inside of the features folder. Okay, let me type it right, users slice, like that, users slice. Okay, so we have the user slice.js, and from here we're gonna be using the create slice, and also create a sync thunk. And we saw that I have it here in some of the Redux series. You can check it out, but we're gonna be bringing the create slice since we're gonna be using it. So we're gonna go here, and we are gonna import. So we're gonna open curly braces, and we're gonna import create slice, and also create a sync thunk, like this, a sync thunk. And we're gonna bring it from, and it's gonna be from Redux. It's gonna be from, it has to be @redux. Let me see. Okay, @redux JS/toolkit. So we're gonna bring in create a slice, and also create a sync thunk. Okay, so we have that, and what else do we have here? So right now what we are gonna do is we're gonna initialize our we're gonna create our initial state. So we do that like this: const initial state, and we're gonna set it to an object, and this one has to be camel notation, so it has to be initial state. And here we're gonna have an object, and we're gonna have here a user, and we're gonna set it, we're gonna be working with the local storage. So if there is something, if there's a user in the local storage, we're gonna use it, and we're gonna use the ternary operator. So if there's the user, we're gonna be using the user. If not, it's just gonna be null. So we're gonna separate it by a comma, and then we're gonna be using also is error. So if we have an error, so we're gonna set it to false, and if we have an error, so it's gonna be true. Also we're gonna have is success, like that, is success, and we're gonna set it to false. We're gonna separate it to with a comma. We're gonna have is loading, so we have something like is waiting for, we can set it to false too. And finally we're gonna have a message, and the message is gonna be set to an empty string by default. So we have that up to this point. So we have the user, okay, so we have the initial state, we have the user that is gonna be set to user, and we're gonna use the ternary operator. If there's a user in the local storage, we're gonna use that. If not, it's gonna be null. We have the is error, is success, is loading, and the message that is gonna be set to an empty string. So we have that. Now we're gonna export. So we're gonna export const, and we're gonna export the users, let me see, like that, users slice. So it's gonna be kind of like this, users slice, and we are gonna set it to this create a slice. So it's gonna be like that, create a slice, and here inside of the parentheses we're gonna have an object, so we can save it up to this point. And you can check out here, you have the information for the create slice. So when we are exporting it, export const, so you have some examples that we already saw in this Redux series, so you can check it out. We have the extra reducers. I'm gonna leave these links so we can go back here, and yeah, we have here we are exporting the users slice, and we are setting it to the create slice. And inside of this object, what we are gonna have is gonna be, we're gonna have name. So the name is gonna be, we can just name it users, like that. What else do we have here? We have also the initial state that we have it like over here, so it's gonna be initial state, okay, so I have it here, just a comma. And then we're gonna have the reducers, okay, as you can see here. For example, you can have it here, let me see, reducers. So you have here some information: create a slice options, any slice case reducer. So a mapping from action types to action type specific case reducer functions. For every action type, a matching action creator will be generated using create action. So we're gonna have reducers, and this reducer is gonna be set to an object, so we can leave it like that for now. And these ones are not these ones are synchronous, they are not asynchronous. The asynchronous are the extra, the extra reducers. One of the key concepts of Redux is that each slice reducer owns its slice of state, and that many slice reducers can independently respond to the same action type. extra reducers allows create slice to respond to other action types based the types it has generated. As case reducers specified with extra reducers are meant to reference external actions, they will not have actions generated and slice that actions. As with reducers, this case reducer will also be passed to create reducer and may mutate their state safely. If two fields from reducers and extra reducers happen to end up with the same action type stream, the function from reducer will be used to handle the action type. So you have this information here, and if we go back here, we can use the extra, let me see if I have it here, extra, okay, extra reducers. And again, you have to use camel notation, extra reducers, like that. So it's gonna be extra reducers. So we're gonna set it to an arrow function, like that, and we're gonna put in some curly braces. Okay, so we have to separate it by a comma, so that is giving us this error. So we have that up to this point, and let's start in the reducers. First of all, we're gonna have a function inside of the reducer, and this function is gonna be named reset, like this, and this one is gonna be set to an arrow function too. It's gonna be set to an arrow function, and it's gonna take as a parameter, or as an argument, it's gonna be taking state. Oh, let me see. It's gonna be taking the state, like that. And again, you can check out this information. We already saw some of the theory in the Redux series, so you can check out my channel and check out the Redux series. But it's gonna take the state, and now in the curly braces, what we are gonna do is pretty much is gonna be state. We're gonna be using the state that, and we're gonna be using, okay, so we have it here already, so it's loading, and again we're gonna set it to false. Okay, we don't need to separate it by comma here. Again, state that, and okay, a success, and again we're gonna set it to false. And what else do we have here? State that is error, and again we're gonna set it to false. And pretty much, for example, if we have an error, so this one right now is setting to false, but if we have an error, this one will be true. If the state is successful, right now is set to false, but if the state is successful, then this would be true. And if we are waiting, so there is, I don't know, some icon that is loading, is actually waiting for it, then this one is set to false, but it'll be true. So we have that up to this point. And right now, let me see, so we can maybe move it like this a little bit. And right now we're gonna work with the extra reducers. So with the extra reducers, what else do we have here? Let me see the extra reducers. We can just leave it like that for now. So now what we are gonna do is we're gonna export. So in order to export this, it's gonna be export. This is the syntax that we are using. So let me see. It's gonna be export const. Export. It's gonna be export default, and the name of our file in this case is gonna be users. Okay, users slice. Export default users slice that reducer, like this. And since we have a function named reset inside of the reducer, we need to export it as well. So it's gonna be export, and you can use the const here. And now inside of curly braces, you're gonna put in the name of the function that is reset. And now we're gonna set it to the users the name of our file, that is the users slice that actions. Okay, like that. So we can save it, and now we were able to export it, but now we have to bring it into the store file that is inside of the app folder. So we can go here and let me see, export. Let me see, if I go here, we need to import it, so it's gonna be import, and we need to import the reducer, so it's gonna be users reducer, like this. So it's gonna be reducer, users reducer, and we are gonna bring it from, let me see, so right now we need to go, okay, so like this, one level up. So we're gonna go into the features, and we are gonna go into users, and we're gonna go into the users slice. And okay, so we go into the features folder, we go into the users folder, and we grab the users slice file, and from the users slice file is where we bring our users reducer. So now in the reducer here, what we are gonna do is, let me see, what we are gonna do is we're gonna have the users, since this is gonna be our state is gonna be users, and now we're gonna have here, we're gonna have users, okay, reducer, and now we can save it, and okay, it's compiling and it's throwing us an error. So let's go into the, okay, let me see, user is not defined, so let me see, what do we have here, let me see, so we are bringing create this user is not defined. Oh, okay, so we need to bring, we are grabbing the user from the local storage. So what we need to do is, we need to go back into our users slice, and right now we are gonna, let me see, we're gonna create this variable named user. So it's gonna be like this, user, and we're gonna set it to JSON that is gonna be JSON that parse, because in local storage we can only have strings. So it's gonna be local storage, so you can have it here, and we're gonna use get item, and the item that we are looking is gonna be user. So we can save it, and let's see if that fixes the problem. Okay, so it does. So now I have the navigation, the login, and the register, and now we're gonna press Ctrl Shift I, and we can go into this double arrows and go into the Redux, and now as you can see we have the state, and inside of the state we have users. This is our state, and we have user as we define it here. We have user, we have s error, s success, s loading, and also the message. So that is what we have here: user, s error, s success, s loading, and message. And as you can see, the user is set to if there is a user, we're gonna grab it. If not, it's gonna be set to null. S error is gonna be set by default to false. S success and S loading are gonna be also be set to false by default, and the message is gonna be set to an empty string. So you have that. And if you don't see this Redux, well, first of all, make sure that you go to Google or whatever engine, and you type in Redux DevTools Chrome Web Store, and you go here and you just grab this extension, and you will be able to use the Redux DevTools. So right now we have action, we have state, we have the diff, we have trace test, but the important thing is that our state. So we have right now this piece of state, and our state is its name is users. So that's what we have for this video.